Going live. Hi everybody, welcome. This is episode 6 of Learn Live UAE. Welcome to the show. Connections are sometimes a bit of an issue, so just getting a few things set back up again because Ollie just had to restart his browser. But thank goodness, here we are, episode 6, and we're going to focus on, and this is based upon a topic that we've seen come up in conversations from teachers across the region, sort of a little bit concerned and an issue for schools to think about well-being and what to do this summer, because the situation with lockdown and how it is, it's very difficult for families and individuals to travel at the moment. And so the focus of the show this week is to think about well-being and what to do about this over the course of the summer break, which is coming up very, very soon. So we're really excited to have Action Jackson join us. I mean, he's literally got happy on his T-shirt. So absolutely spot on with the attire today, sir.
Thank you very much.
So we're really excited to hear from him. Ollie, how are things with you this week?
Yeah, really good, thank you. Another good week so far. We've actually tomorrow got our distance learning evaluation at school.
Right.
So we could just give a little shout out to all the teachers at the British International School of Abu Dhabi for doing an amazing job in the last 3 and a bit months that we've been online learning. I think they've done amazing things. So I'm actually really excited to see what comes of that. But in equal measure, I'm really looking forward to having a great discussion with Action tonight, because it's going to be quite a long summer. They always are, despite the fact they seem to always disappear in the blink of an eye. I think this summer could be a little bit difficult with the difficulty of travelling or not travelling, or 1 minute we can travel, the next minute we can't travel. So I'm really looking forward to gaining more insight from Action on what I can do for my own well-being and the well-being of my friends and family that are in the Middle East, and putting some of those ideas into practice, hopefully consistently. Sure. I think that's always a bit of part of the problem, but more on that from Action soon. Shall we share, Mark, where you mentioned a tweet? So should we just share that tweet with everybody to start with?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is off the back of something. There was a little poll that was put out by Teach Middle East magazine. This is when we started getting thinking about all of this, and there were some conversations that followed on from this. I saw one teacher from Dubai saying that, yes, they could travel, but they didn't really fancy traveling and having 14 days quarantine when they got back home with them and their family, and then 14 days quarantine when they get back. That's not a good break, and quite stressful in and of itself, isn't it? And so this is where this sort of idea has been born from. Something we've shared a lot on the show is that we're able to be quite agile with what we do here on the show. And it's live as well. So please do use the feature in YouTube in the chat. Even if you just want to give a little wave, a bit of a shout out or anything, or if you've got any questions for myself, Ollie, or Action, then please ping those things through. And we can bring those onto the screen as well, so that we can all see them, not just us in the actual live broadcast. If you're watching back, if you're a watch back viewer, you can sort of see those questions as well. But this is where this idea for this show came from, and so we've tried to respond to the questions and the concerns that have been coming up through social media, talking about these things. And so this is why we've tried to put this show together, isn't it, Ollie?
Yeah, completely. And I think it's quite a timely discussion for us to have. It's quite often in the Middle East, we wait for information from various parties. And, this is another scenario that we find ourselves in, although we're quite familiar and used to the fact that we have been quarantining for quite so long. I think a lot of teachers are holding on to that idea of it will change for summer, and I'll be able to go and visit and travel and look at 4 different walls. So I'm really in one sort of frame of mind, sad that I'm not going to get the chance to travel back and see my family in the UK, and for my mum to see my daughter. But on the other sort of side of it, I feel like I'm used to quarantine now. However, I think we're all reaching a point where once school stops and we haven't got that normal routine, we haven't got the interaction with the students, we'll probably be finding ourselves, scratching around thinking, well, what shall I do now? And actually yearn for that time with the students again. albeit virtually, because it helps drive and motivate us. And once you kind of take that almost safety net away, your motivation and your well-being is likely to take a bit of a dip. So, I'm really looking forward to tonight's show.
Yeah, ditto. So I've got a few ideas myself too, and I know you're wanting to share some things yourself later on in the show as well, Ollie, from a panel discussion you had earlier this week with the guest conference. Really looking forward to hearing what we got to hear from Action today. With that in mind, Action, are you ready to start to talk a little bit through what it is you want to share with us today? Before we do that as well and get you on, how are you?
I'm doing very well. It's just amazing to be able to be in an opportunity to reach the world through technology. I'm so happy, honestly.
It's fantastic. I don't think we've actually spoken face to face, certainly not in real life. But you've had some massive reason to be joyful in the last few months, haven't you? How's the sleeping patterns going?
Oh, listen, do you know what? She's been a good baby. So for those of you watching, we had a baby about 40 plus days ago, and she's been good. She sleeps through the night, and once she gets fed, she's okay. She likes her food and her sleep, just like her dad.
That's great to hear.
No, congratulations. I say, absolutely made it for you. So have you?
No, it's great.
Are you going to be talking to the camera today, Action, or have you got some slides that you want to share with us?
Yeah, I'm gonna be bouncing between both anyway, because I like to see both your faces. Makes me feel comfortable. But yeah, I'm gonna share slides in a moment. But before I share the slides, just really want to encourage everybody that's watching right now. There's a couple of words that are going to jump into our vocabulary here in 2020. One is unprecedented. The other is social distancing, lockdown, and all the rest of it. And do you know what? I think 2020 has been the greatest gift that humanity could ever receive, because, there's this whole phrase of storming, norming, and performing. So we're in the storm. And everybody's had to norm and then try to perform with distance learning. And it hasn't been easy. So I just really want to commend everybody for everything that you've been doing, especially the teachers who've dedicated their time, energy, and passion to just, at a drop of a hat, reshape everything. It's not easy. But so thank you. So I'm excited to share some of the advice that I've just, come up with you guys all tonight. So it's going to be a fun evening for us all.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. So I'm going to just share my screen right here. So, I think it's there's in terms of go screen, that's it.
Yeah, it's just coming through now for us this end.
Okay, are we good? We can see.
Yeah, we can see your PowerPoint. Yeah, we can see you standing on the TEDx Norwich stage.
Yes, that was an amazing day where I had did a TEDx on dreaming big. I cried that day, actually. It was interesting. And funny enough, I'll probably lead off from there. I was talking about fulfilling dreams, and there was one dream that I never got to really fulfill, which was the dream to really go into my acting and performing side. I kept that suppressed for a long time. And after that TED talk, it really made me realize, I go around telling everybody to live their dreams. And although I do speaking is not my dream. Speaking is a mission to help others to unlock their dreams so that they don't make the mistakes that I have made. So since then, I've just been on a journey of rediscovering myself and tapping back into those passions that have never left me. If you've ever seen my live sessions, that it's a combination of education and entertainment combined. So talking about, the summer, what should this summer look like? It is frustrating, you know. Normally for the staff in the UAE, there's that break where you can come home or go home and just really change things about. But it might not happen. We don't know. But here we go. I talk about reset and reinvent. That's the word for tonight. It's time to reset and reinvent. And there's a lot of resetting and reinventing. So you had to reset and reinvent for the term time between March and now. Now there's summertime. No more summertime is not happening. So we need to then once again reset and reinvent again. And change is one thing that makes people feel uncertain. Change makes us feel uncertain. There are 6 human needs, and one of them is certainty. Okay, I might actually go through them. One of them is certainty. Everybody wants to feel certain. But when we feel uncertain, it really knocks us off our center. And that's where you start to find people start to get stressed, start to get ill, because your body has now received a different message. Now, it takes you a bit of time for you to then settle into certainty again. So for the staff, think about it. March till now, you got some kind of normality. And then all of a sudden, that normality is being taken away because there's no longer, you know, any distance learning. You've created a routine. Now you're asking me to change the routine. It's just going to drive you nuts. The first thing I always tell people to do is this. Gratitude is the key to altitude. When you stop for a moment to be grateful, not that people aren't grateful. We are grateful, but we're not consciously grateful. Internally, we're grateful, but when you stop and you actually do a gratitude exercise to say, you know what, I'm actually grateful for this opportunity to actually change from one normal to another normal. Part of you saying, forget it, I don't want to change. The other part of you saying, you know what, this is going to be for growth. No one likes growth. No one likes growth, but we need growth. We need growth. So very quick, I'm going to go through the 6 human needs. The first is certainty. We all need certainty. The second is variety. Okay, it's a human need. It's not a human want, it's a human need. We need variety in our lives. And I think we've had enough of variety over the last coming weeks that we're now craving certainty again. The other 2 human needs are connection and significance. We all need connection. We all feel that connection, like you said, there's that connection with the staff and the kids online. Now, once that connection is taken away, you're craving connection in a different kind of way. The 4th human need is, and I think significance is, do I feel good about myself? Am I where I need to be in my life? You know, what makes me feel important? And the 5th and 6th one is growth and contribution. These are the spiritual needs of humankind, where are you growing and are you contributing? And if any vehicle meets 3 or more of the human needs, you get hooked on that vehicle. So teaching, you feel certain about teaching. Teaching, there's variety in teaching. Teaching, there's connection. And sometimes you feel significant. Teaching, you're growing and you're contributing. Teaching meets 6 of your human needs, so you're hooked on teaching. That's why there's the blurred lines between personal life and teaching, because some people I even see online during summertime, they're still talking about education. That's how you know you found your passion, you know. But how do we begin to deal with this time where there's uncertainty? Well, 2 words: reset and reinvent. Personally, for me, I bought a saxophone about 1.5 years ago. Okay. This summer, I'm looking to pick up that saxophone again. Why? It's part of what's going to help me with the dream and the goal that I've always had as a performer, you know. I'm also taking up a couple of things that's going to enhance me as a person. So the first question I want to ask everybody is, what is that ultimate dream and goal you've always had for yourself? Because what people tend to do is this: we sometimes tend to hide behind our career because we're too afraid to answer certain questions about life. So there are certain questions I want you to ask yourself over this summer period in terms of, who am I and who do I need to be? That's a deep question. Who am I? Who do I want to be? And whatever comes to the surface, be still and receive it. Maybe this lockdown period is a time to actually begin to look at relationship that you've had, to begin to repair the relationships, because we're so busy at work, you know, that we don't get time to repair relationships. you know, because we say to ourselves, we haven't got time. Well, now we've got some time. So one area is relationships. Asking yourself those questions: where am I? Where do I need to be in my relationship? And I asked myself that question this morning. I said, Jackson, from a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your family life? You know, from a scale of 1 to 10. And I sat and I was really honest with myself. I said, you know what? It would be a 5. It would be a 5, because I would like to be more conscious, not haphazard. I'd like to be more planned with the things that are happening. I would like to have that long view. So the question I'm asking everybody right now, in terms of just relationships, how would you rate yourself from a scale of 1 to 10? So let's try that with Mark and Ollie right now. In terms of family relationships, you're both laughing right now. Scale of 1 to 10, how would you? 10 is like, yeah, we're good. We've got the vision down. We know where we're headed. We're feeling good. You know, where would you kind of rate yourself from a scale of 1 to 10?
I'll go first. Go on, Mark.
As with anything, it's contextual, but say my strongest and most important relationship is to myself and my children, and I would give that a sort of a good 8 or 9 out of 10. It's absolutely superb. You know, but again, being contextual, there are relationships to myself and my mother, for example. My father's not with us anymore, unfortunately. But, you know, I'm very busy with my work. And as you said about resetting and reinventing, actually, reflecting upon this, what I will have over the summer is a much bigger opportunity to actually spend more time with her. I've done what I can during lockdown because she's by herself now, as I mentioned. And so I've got a sibling who's more local, although, again, can't see her and all of these things. But it does give me a really good opportunity. So, you know, whilst our relationship is great, in terms of the things that we do together, it's more of a 5, you know, because just so busy with everything that's going on, and it's hard to make time. But that's I think that's the key issue. You actually do need to make the time in order to make sure those relationships are set and are working, I think. Thank you for the challenging question as well. Thank you.
Well, that's it. Because if and there's a quote that says, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you.
Yeah.
How about you, Ollie?
I'd say, so we know what our kind of grand plan is, and we're both working towards that. I teeter between 7 and 8, so I'll go 7.5 on this. I think what I need to do more of actually is detach from work sometimes. It always just sits there in my subconscious, but that's because I'm passionate about what I do and I really enjoy it. But sometimes actually you need to just let go of that on say a Saturday morning and just completely detach and actually focus on right in front of you in the here and now. So I think I need to do a bit more of that. Our relationship's great, I think, and we're lucky.
He says, I think.
Out of COVID, is that we've spent way more time together, and actually it's great to be around. As difficult as it can be as a parent, you know, when you've got a little break in your day, your working day, and you come out and you know, my little girl will start crying because then I go back in the room, and that's heartbreaking. It's actually, if I was at school, I wouldn't get that, so I wouldn't be able to see that kind of pattern from her. So yeah, that's where I think that's where I'm at present. Also, it will make me appreciate my family back in the UK even more, because I won't have seen them for almost 2 years by the time we do eventually go back next summer. If we can't go back at Christmas, so that really makes you reset and think, well, actually, I could do more there. So I guess with my family, it's a great relationship, but in terms of what we can do, we could easily move it, like Mark, from a 5 up to a 7 or an 8. By seeing them and actually saying those things, like, I really appreciate you. Thanks for everything you've done for me. You know, thanks for supporting me. You know, and all those things. So that's me.
We've had a comment